Listeners, before we get into the originally recorded audio for this podcast, the Bows Knows and QI Roberts just wanted to take a minute and ask all of our listeners to make sure they say a prayer for Baylee Holbrook and her family. Thank you, and please enjoy this episode of The Bows Knows.
You're listening to The Bows Knows, a podcast about QI Roberts Junior Senior High School in Putnam County, Florida. And I'm your host, Mr. Bows. Today we have our student government class presidents, or some of them anyway, in studio with us. So thank you for joining me today. Please introduce yourselves to our listeners.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Clayberger. I'm the senior class president.
Hi, I'm Kayan Traxler. I'm the 7th grade president.
Hi, I'm Ethan Porch. I'm the 9th grade president.
I'm Henry During, 8th grade president.
Very good. So to start out with podcasts, I'll start with the same 3 questions. First off being, what is your favorite QI story or tradition?
Okay, so that's a tough one. My favorite QI story would... that's hard. We'll go with tradition. I really like that at the pep rallies, I really like that we have... Oh, this would be more of a story. How we tie in sometimes the history of QI, like when we've done the Jeopardy, things like that, and we've gone over like Quinsip, Irvin Roberts, and it's really funny just to see that some people actually know that, and then I just really enjoy that we can tie in real life connections to our school into the fun things we do.
I like how, as a tradition, I kind of, at the pep rallies, at most of our events, I like how unified we feel. Like we're just all one group of people. Like we're a community.
I'd say my favorite tradition about QI is how we have the teacher and student games after the pep rallies. I really like that.
During the pep rallies, together working with student government, we all come together and work on homecomings and dances for our school and each class with academic purposes.
Alrighty, so next question is, if you could time travel, when would you go and why?
I would go back to the 90s. I really love that era with fashion and the FFA world, everything really ties together in that era.
All right. If I could time travel, I would go back to when I was in middle school, which was like 4 years ago, because I really wish I was just more involved in middle school. I kind of just like didn't do anything, didn't really do much. I wasn't involved in any of the activities. I kind of just sat there, and I was like one of the people that doesn't want to be there. And I really wish I could go back and put more energy into it because it really is a great time.
If I could time travel any time, I'd probably want to go to the future, like maybe like a few thousand years ahead to see what happens.
I'd probably want to go to like the Greek or Roman era. Well, I mean, there's diseases. I'll probably die young, but that's fine. I really like the culture and history and the things surrounding it.
Very good. And last but not least, as always, quality, integrity, respect. Which one and why?
Okay. So for me, I think integrity is probably the most important. Because although all of them are important, I just feel like integrity kind of encompasses all of them. because if you're keeping pride and integrity in yourself, then you're probably showing quality. You're probably respecting people because that's what helps build up that sense of integrity.
I would go for quality. Honestly, that's kind of a hot take, but if your work is A+, A grade, if you take everything with pride and you work hard, I feel like you can get pretty much anywhere. But all of them are pretty equal, honestly.
I feel respect is a very important part of student government. You represent your class and they get to know you. You're the liaison for your grade for different things throughout the school. And I feel like if you represent them in the right way, you will mutually gain respect throughout your class.
I'd say quality is probably the most important because you want to always do good in what you do.
Alrighty. So let's dive in and start talking about student government. So first off, if one of you wants to take on the question of what is student government and what does it represent?
I'll go for that. Having been president twice now in student government, run unopposed, I feel like student government as a faction, we set up most of the things that happen in the school. We set up homecoming, prom, yada yada. And I feel like we kind of, each person represents what grade and what place they come from, even outside of the school. So I feel like we kind of guide the school in the direction that is best suited for it.
Good. Does anybody have anything else they want to add?
Well, I think that it's just really important to emphasize that student government is basically responsible for all of the fun things that we do throughout the year at QI. And I mean, obviously there's other smaller things that are done, but all of the pep rallies, the homecomings, prom, all of the big stuff that goes on is all done by student government. And being a representative is our jobs here in student government to make sure that you speak on behalf of your class, that you do what is in their best interest. It's your job to communicate with them and make sure that you're communicative effectively, actively listening, and not just going with what you think's best for you, but what you think's best for the student body as a whole.
That sounds great. So we talked about you all talked about what all of student government does. So what are some of the opportunities that exist for students within our organization of student government?
Some of the opportunities student government gives students is to kind of like give them more of like a understanding of how to do politics, how to debate, and how to come up with good ideas and hear other people's opinions.
It definitely strengthens leadership ability. Also, I think that if you're looking ahead in your future, if you're worried about your future, having student government on your resume for, say, college looks pretty good.
I think student government's also really important in strengthening communication skills because communication is, as I said previously, like it's a really, really big part of what we do. So if you're really good at communicating or if you want to be really good at communicating, student government is a really great way to help grow those skills.
I agree. Public speaking is a big part of student government, and being able to talk with your peers and staff members and teachers, it is a big part of communication. And if you just want to better your skills through public speaking or your social skills, I agree with student government is the right place for you.
So currently, unless you are an 8th grader interested in being an officer, because we do have some openings in 8th grade, the officer positions, the representative positions are full for student government. But is there still an opportunity for our listeners to be a part of what we do?
Absolutely. So if you want to be involved in student government and not as a representative, you can come in and you can join just the general student government meetings. You can voice your opinions there. You can also be in charge of like committees. You can help lead committees like the homecoming committee. We have homecoming coming up very soon. Tickets are already on sale. And so we have people that we need in charge of that. We need people in charge of later events like prom. We need a pep rally person. We need people for like the lip dub at the end of the year and all the rest of the fun stuff. Need a leader to run them. So even if you weren't elected as a representative or a class president, you can take on some leadership responsibilities within student government.
I definitely feel like our non-members are also heard, almost even as much as we are, you know. I personally, I look out for what people say in my grade. I try to take their thoughts into consideration and then bring it into our meetings.
During the meetings, multiple people that are an elected officer or president, they get to voice their opinions to everybody there, and we all get heard in the right way.
Yeah, I definitely feel like everyone gets heard in student government because it's kind of like it just lets everyone, talk, and you can still listen to people that aren't in student government. And it's really easy for people to join student government. It's a really welcoming place.
Very good. So I'm going to kind of crash the next two questions together, and that being, for each of you, why did you choose to join student government, and what's your favorite part of being in student government?
Okay, so I'll go first. I chose to join student government last year. I debated it the year before, but it was kind of a little late. But I joined student government last year because I just really felt like I wanted to be the voice for my entire grade. I wanted to make sure that everybody felt like they had somebody they could come to communicate what they wanted, the things that they wanted to happen. And I just felt like that me volunteering for that might have been good since I'm already very connected with the rest of my grade. My favorite part of being in student government is also probably related to that, being able to be that voice, but I also do really enjoy having like a direct impact on the things that go on around campus. Like I love being able to have a say in what the themes are for our homecomings, what our spirit days are. I just love having that option.
I'll go next. If I'm being completely honest, when I heard about student government, I had already had kind of a leadership position before, and what my main motive was, if I'm being honest, was just to get that on the resume. But as I joined and as I experienced it, I did genuinely begin to love the group, and I started to have a respect for other people who did it too. My favorite part would probably, as she said already, having an impact on it, feeling like I inflict on it directly.
You can go first.
Going into 7th grade, this is my first year being at QI Roberts, and I knew I wanted to hold a leadership position, and I wanted to represent my peers in some ways and be able to get my voice out. And I joined student government, and I realized this is a good place for me, and I want to have an impact on my class of 2029 and just make their voices heard and be their liaison through the district and through the school.
The reason I joined student government is so I can have my voice heard and, help homecoming and different school events. And I'd say my favorite thing about student government is I love to work on different homecomings, pep rally, spirit week. Kind of just helps me be more involved with the school.
Alrighty, very good. So let's shift gears away from talking about student government in general, and let's talk about the big event that's coming up. Let's talk about homecoming. So why should our listeners be excited for homecoming, and what are some of the things they should be looking forward to?
It's a time where people can come together and just have fun at school, which I think is pretty cool because usually school's just learning and whatever. But this gives us an opportunity to grow closer to one another. I'm really excited. I have somebody going with me this year, which is kind of a shock.
Okay.
But
so homecoming, it only happens once a year. It's super exciting. This year we have a really fun theme. It's Through the Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland themed. We have a bunch of fun spirit days, and participation in this can be so great. Dressing up for spirit days, going to the homecomings, getting all dressed all fancy. It's really just more engaging. You're able to spend more time with your peers, and we're able to do something more fun inside of school, around the people that we're around every day, and get to know them in a different environment. And you can enjoy homecoming and homecoming week between 7th and 12th grade, so it's not something that just divides us. Like, there's a middle school dance, there's a high school dance, there is spirit days for all of the grades. So I think that just spirit weeks, homecoming specifically, helps really bring us together as a school.
Homecoming is a good way to socialize, and me myself, I like dressing up for dances and big events. It's just another way to be able to get to know each other, and I feel Spirit Week is something to be able to look forward to with the theme of Alice in Wonderland. There's a lot of things you can do with this theme, and I feel it's something worth being participated in.
Like they said, homecoming is a really cool thing to look forward to because you get to spend time with your friends, you get to dress up, and this theme this year for homecoming is one of the best themes we've ever had. Like they said, it's Alice in Wonderland, and there's a lot of things we can do with it, and we have really good spirit days planned out, so I hope y'all will dress up for that.
So let's talk about those spirit days. So what's Monday?
All right, so Monday we have Mad Hatter Monday, which is Crazy Hat Day.
Yeah, so we need to see something beyond those baseball hats. Let's see what crazy hats you've got tucked away in those closets for those special occasions. Awesome. What about Tuesday?
Tuesday we named Tweedle Twin Tuesday, so based off of Tweedledee and Tweedledum from Alice in Wonderland, and that's going to be Twin Day, so pick your favorite friend and you're going to match with them.
Wednesday is Wonderland Wednesday, where you get to dress up as any Alice in Wonderland character and just be in character.
Okay.
And then that takes us to Thursday.
Thursday, we have dubbed Royalty Thursday, where it's going to be you dress in either red and hearts for the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, or you can do white for, like, representing the White Queen. Overall, it's a more vague day, but red and white is kind of the go-to there.
And then real quick, so we can get you all back to class, what about Friday?
Friday is Queen's Gambit, where you dress in black and white.
So black for the 11th, 12th, and 7th grade, and then white for the 8th, 9th, and 10th grade.
Wonderful. So we don't have time for our formal sign-off, but thank you to the class presidents for coming to talk about homecoming. Listeners, make sure you follow Student Government on Facebook and Instagram for more information about homecoming.
Hey listeners, future Mr. Bose here to give you some of the details that we didn't have time to finish in the original podcast. So homecoming tickets are currently on sale. They are $20 for middle school and high school students. You must have a signed contract before you can purchase those tickets. You can purchase them in person. High school students can purchase them from me, Mr. Bose, during Power Hour, and middle school students can purchase them from Miss Hall in the front office. Tickets can also be purchased online through the web store via the school website. But you want to make sure you get your tickets soon, because if you buy your tickets after October 8th, they will go up to $25 a ticket, and if you have to purchase tickets at the door, they will be $30 at the door.
Listeners, if you like the podcast, subscribe on your favorite podcast player of choice so you don't miss out on future episodes, and please share with your friends. Until next time, excellence in all endeavors.